What's up, everybody? We're back for another episode of the Multiverse of Fandom podcast with
big episode.
Me and Demo this week. A lot of spoilers for the Suicide Squad. We're talking all Suicide Squad today. So if you haven't seen the movie, come back later when you saw it because we're gonna basically break it all down, give our rating, give our reviews, and just talk about everything that happened that we remember from last night.
Equal parts sequel and reboot to the very, very horrible first Suicide Squad movie released in 2016. This one was not the same though.
No,
it was much better.
Yeah, I did. I'm glad you brought that up. That about the first one, that it wasn't a full reboot.
No, it's
I'm
not.
kind of glad they recognized it as being still there, because that kind of shows that they completely messed it up, but they're kind of like accepting that and now moving to, it seems, better things.
Yeah.
So I didn't not like that, because there were certain parts of it that if they kind of just rebooted it completely, it wouldn't have made sense. Like in the parts where at the beginning they never really gave a backstory to anybody.
No, but I mean, it was also readily apparent, I think, at least to me after 15 minutes of watching the movie. That,
Yeah.
okay, this is going off of the last movie.
Yeah.
Yeah. The only thing
that's what I liked about it too, because in the first one you kind of wasted a lot of time kind of explaining the Suicide Squad and explaining the characters and going into their backstory, but like James Gunn said, don't get too attached to these characters, which you really shouldn't have. And they kind of just gave a quick backstory to some characters, but it was just, they had a mission, they brought them out of prison, and then they just went to work. They didn't really have to give us an explanation of the Suicide Squad, since it's pretty self-explanatory.
No, and I mean, within like the first 15, 20 minutes, how many characters did we lose? Like 4 or 5
Yeah.
that died?
And it made it, I think it was pretty obvious, because we were talking about it, they weren't in the promos a lot. Like, they weren't really in trailers. They weren't really in a lot of stuff.
I was surprised about Captain Boomerang. He went really early.
That was
very
crazy. Yeah,
surprising.
Captain Boomerang died.
Yeah.
Which was insane, because I think 2-3 days ago he was on. He did an interview, and he said that he'd love to keep playing Captain Boomerang, and he would love to be the Flash's villain in a movie. So it's kind of wild that. I guess he's just throwing us off the scent, though.
I don't know. I mean, the actor Jai Courtney, he's not like a low level. He's a pretty
a
well-known
lot
actor.
of the actors they killed off were big name actors, and Pete Davidson. I think that was expected that he was going to die, because it's Pete Davidson.
They killed off Cena's character, but spoiler, I mean, he comes back at the end, towards the end credit scene. He's back, and I mean, obviously we all knew that he was getting his own TV show, so I think it was...
I think the next character that should get their own TV show, or even like a movie, maybe... Bloodsport.
Yeah,
he was sick.
Is there kind of a replacement to Will Smith's...
Yeah, I'm glad they didn't just make him Deadshot and completely reboot Will Smith. Like,
is Will Smith not coming back?
Well, I think that was the reason why they didn't just make him Deadshot, because Will Smith is apparently... He wants to come back. I think there was he was doing like Bad Boys for Life or something when they were filming Suicide Squad, so it was just like conflicts.
Yeah.
But I think he wants to come back, or eventually wants to come back, maybe for a third Suicide Squad movie. That'd be
have him and Idris Elba in the same movie with John Cena. That'd be pretty. That'd be pretty cool. A lot of action.
But no, because I Bloodsport is definitely, at least for me, like a lesser known character.
I hadn't heard of him.
Yeah, I've heard about him in passing, but I kind of just didn't kind of care for it.
He's a cool character.
It's pretty cool. I liked it a lot. I liked the suit a lot. It kind of reminded me of
cool.
the Predator.
Yeah, Alien. The helmet
yeah,
was
the helmet.
Very. It had the same Predator thing.
Yeah, that
the big
mouth
top.
on the bottom too. It was pretty cool, and
I
liked the how they said anything he can use as a weapon. He kept grabbing stuff off
his body randomly.
That was pretty cool.
I like the one gun he had
at the end
against the shark. You remember how he would just bolstering it?
Yeah, that was cool.
I thought that was very cool.
But yeah, his kind of dynamic with Peacemaker was really cool.
That was pretty funny.
That was funny. It was like that kind of like that. Who's the top dog? I want to be alpha. No, I'm the alpha. And they kept trying to one up each other.
Well, Bloodsport was clearly the smarter leader. I think Peacemaker was seen as characters like that, the dumb jock.
Well, that was why too. I think they didn't want to make him the leader. It was made apparent at the end of the movie when he had that fight with Flag over the files that he didn't want. He was like, I have a side mission. Don't let these files get out by any means necessary. Yeah. So maybe he wasn't the leader because he had his own objective. So he wasn't he kind of was on that mission, but had a mission of his own.
Yeah, he had his own agenda from Waller.
From Waller.
Yeah. I like the scenes with Waller, too. Amanda Waller's been in a lot, too. The same actress has played the same character, I think, since, like, Man of Steel. At the end.
Was she in it?
Was she at the tail end? She may have been at the tail end. Or was it BVS? I don't remember
her in Man of Steel. I don't even remember her in BVS.
She was in BVS. She was at the end.
Really?
It was either in the extended cut or it was an end credit scene. But I distinctly remember her sitting. There was a meeting with either her and Bruce Wayne.
Well, that was in Suicide Squad.
Oh, that's what it was. But whether she, I swear to God, she was in Batman vs Superman.
Maybe you're right. Or was it? No, it was the end of Justice League. I think it was the end of Justice League. I could be wrong. I don't remember. Either way, I think you're definitely right. Now I remember it because I remember them having a talk about something like that.
Yeah.
But she is. I think she is the best villain that the DCEU has.
Really?
Yeah. Like she's
it's very accurate. Very comic book accurate.
Yeah, and in the first one, I think we kind of saw it a little bit, but we didn't see it like fully. Like she's a great actress.
Viola Davis.
Yeah, she's a great actress, and I think in the first Suicide Squad, like you definitely saw that like that kind of like do anything by any means necessary for the better of the United States and everything like that, but. In Suicide Squad, she was the mission technically.
Right.
Remember, like they saved her from that, like in that building, and she like killed everybody that like was working with her because they didn't have enough room.
So technically speaking, I was wrong. Actually, she's only been in both Suicide Squad movies. She wasn't even in Justice League.
That's what I thought.
At least she's not credited for it, unless there was some sort of.
Yeah. No. I
feels like she's been in a lot. I don't know why. Doesn't it feel like she is Amanda
Waller?
Because
she's so like imposing. Her presence is so like she's
plays
there.
The character well.
Yeah, and in the first one, like she was kind of like the mission. They had to save her, and now in this one, she's just like, do what you're told or you're gonna die.
You're gonna die, and she had that box that she
and like
kept flipping
I will
open.
kill. Like she was like threatening Bloodsport's daughter and. Threatening.
What was it at the end there where, because they had the chips in there, and he was like, if you don't set us free, we're going to leak something to the world or some shit.
That was the files that Flag wanted to release and Cena was trying to stop. Mm-hmm. That was that. He like kept the files and Ratcatcher. Oh no, I think it was Ratcatcher and Harley Quinn were like upset or like they were like. He wanted to release those, and he was like, "Yeah, well, this is better for us. Like we're free now."
Right. Was a good resolution there at the end. I liked it.
Yeah.
And then like what we were talking about last week with the original Suicide Squad, like this one was what I think everybody wanted the first time around.
Yeah, I don't know because now the first one wasn't rated R.
No, PG-13.
And how do you have a movie called The Suicide Squad and not be rated R?
I know it's really weird. I mean, there was so much in this movie that was just like
I think there was so much, and I think the rating.
Great.
I think the rating is kind of like just as important to the whole story because then it like the rating just sets the tone for everything.
And you know how much like leeway they have, like what they can and can't do.
And 2 people dying in the first one.
It's not enough.
Diablo and then the I think was he like Crawler the guy basically at the beginning she blew his head up.
Yeah.
So that was like he barely talked in the movie. But 2 people died. This one it was just I think we started with a cast of like 18 or 20 and 4 survived, like technically 5 with Peacemaker at the end, but like that's what we needed. Like this is great because now it's like people had their doubts. I think we had our doubts too with like some of the characters they had in it, like who's Polka Dot Man. Like we didn't know who the heck that was.
He was a funny character.
He was a pretty funny character, so it kind of shows their kind of willingness and stuff to use these characters that you've never heard of and just throw them in a movie and just kill them off because when are they really going to use Polka Dot Man?
Exactly. What was the guy's name with the long hair? I know the actor.
Yeah, I know the actor. He was Yondu in Guardians of the Galaxy, but I don't remember who he was.
Did you notice Polka Dot Man? I was making fun. That's not who I said
yeah,
it wasn't.
I know it wasn't.
He's from The Dark Knight.
Yeah, he's on The Dark Knight. He was in. Remember, he was in Ant-Man. He's the one that says, like the Baba Yaga. He's the Baba Yaga guy.
Okay.
He's been in a lot of stuff. He's like a really big time.
Yeah, he's got just such a weird look.
Yeah.
Apparently, he's the nicest guy though.
Yeah, he's cool. He's been in so much recently too. And then you have Harley Quinn.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she did a good job.
I think this is her best performance.
You think so?
Quinn. Like
she's been in.
She was in the first Suicide Squad, then Birds of Prey, and then this.
Birds of Prey. I didn't like that performance. Very
yeah,
well.
I didn't like. It was like whatever.
One.
Yeah, it was. But this one was great. This one was so good.
This was very good.
And she's tried to be the anti-hero kind of. I think they were kind of pushing her as the kind of Deadpool of DCEU.
The DCEU. That makes sense.
But I think in this one, because like she's always trying to play that anti-hero. We saw that especially in Birds of Prey. She was trying to be like the hero.
Yeah. But
in this one, you kind of saw how crazy she was, and we haven't really gotten to see a lot of that in the movies, like the scene where they're torturing her and she's just singing, and then like she just pretends to pass out, and then like snaps the guy's neck. Yeah. That was cool. The scene where she's with the president, and then the flowers are all flying around and all that, like that's pretty psychotic.
It's very psychotic. Yeah.
So it was. I liked seeing that. Like I really liked
the beginning when the guy died and she's just like slapping his face.
Oh yeah. Like I was like, yeah, you really see like the kind of like the true side of Harley Quinn that we've wanted to see.
Well, I mean, the other thing I really liked about this was the storytelling was upgraded, like massively. Like even just like in the beginning, like the way they told it, and they didn't release all the information to us at once, where there were two teams, two Suicide Squad teams going.
Yep.
And like at the end, I was like, really, this is how they're all gonna die? And then they cut to the other side of the island, and the cool guys are
yeah, I was expecting, because like when I was watching it, like when I saw it, I thought it was gonna be that whole team was gonna die.
Yeah.
And then I was expecting Harley to get captured, and then it was like the scene where they have to go and save her or whatever, but I was expecting everyone to die, and then she has to go back into the prison and recruit a new team.
Yeah.
But not
enough time for that. No.
Team 1 and Team 2.
I definitely liked the premise of the island. I thought that was really cool.
Yeah.
They were to like drop them in, and overall it was a very good movie.
Yeah. What do you think of Flag?
I thought he was pretty good. He was in the first one too. So
what would compare him to the first one to this one? Did you like him more? Did you dislike it? Is the same?
I've only seen the first one once, and I refuse to watch it again.
Yeah, that's
for obvious reasons.
Fair. Yeah.
The actor's good. He was in the Netflix series Altered Carbon, I think.
Yeah.
It was good. Yeah, I thought it was.
I liked
him
way more in this one.
Yeah.
I thought he was, because I was like thinking about it last night, and in the first one, he seemed more of like Waller's errand boy, and it's just he's
like the babysitter, right?
Yeah, but in this one, to me, because like in that one it was like he's the soldier, he's like the babysitter, he's the errand boy, like he's got the same agenda as Waller. Mm-hmm. But in this one, he seemed kind of more expendable even to her, because she sends him with team 1 on that side of the island. She could have sent him with team 2 and not even put him in danger, but she was like, yeah, just go, like you're with these guys. I don't think necessarily, it didn't make it clear if they knew that there was two teams, but it seems like they didn't.
Well, I mean, it seemed like he had more of a role. He was actually working with the team.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And then at the end, it was like he really showed his, like, he actually, compared to Waller, has morals, and he was gonna like show the world that the U.S. had a part in Project Starro, and I just thought he was way more likable. Yeah. This time, I thought he was a lot more likable, and then they killed him too.
I didn't dislike him. I thought he was a good character. I think maybe I didn't really have any qualms with any of the characters. Because the one, like, the characters maybe that we wouldn't have, like, died in the beginning. Yeah. Like that, I don't even, like, the TDK guy. Like,
that was just a weird character. Yeah. We both, like, kind of looked at each other and were like, what the heck is this? Yeah, yeah. Like, his arms are coming off, and then he was basically just slapping people in the face. Like, he wasn't doing it. Yeah, and then they just started shooting him in the arms. Like, what did you think was going to happen? How is this a villain? But that's what I'm talking about. They just use these, like, kind of, like, BS villains that no one's going to care about that they die. Yeah. And they can just keep using them.
What'd you think of the shark?
Dude, shark. I loved it.
I had to keep reminding myself that was Sylvester Stallone.
Yeah.
Because the voice was pissing me off. I was just like, I can't find myself to like or hate.
You know what
it
reminded me a lot of though? It reminded me of the Hulk.
The Hulk,
especially at the end where they're like
everybody.
Bloodsport was like the starfish is num nums. Yeah. He like runs over. It reminded me of, if you remember in Thor Ragnarok. Mm-hmm. When Ragnarok is there to destroy Asgard.
Yep.
And then Hulk runs up and jumps on him.
Yeah.
To try to start like beating him up.
Yeah.
And then when King Shark is running over and jumps on Starro, it reminded me of that. So maybe they're taking him in that direction, like the kind of like the dumbed down Hulk, maybe.
Yeah, it was much stupider.
Yeah, stupider. Yeah. But I thought he was funny. I thought it was like the good, and I think all the comedy really worked.
The comedy was very funny.
It was never forced.
It was very funny,
which is.
I mean, I didn't laugh at everything, but there was a lot.
Yeah, no, it wasn't like everything wasn't hilarious, but there were things that
the banter between Bloodsport and Cena was hilarious.
Like in the village of the freedom fighters,
they were flipping each other off and making other obscene gestures. That was very funny.
Killing all the good guys.
Yeah, we didn't see anybody.
And then Polka Dot Man,
all dead.
Polka Dot Man goes, they all look like my mother, so I killed them all. That was also pretty funny with them showing the older woman.
Yeah, the other funny scene was when they were in the office, remember? And they were all crouched down in the cubicles, and then all of a sudden they just stand up.
Oh, yeah.
Start yelling at each other.
About Milton, was that it? Yeah,
Milton, yeah.
Milton, who's Milton?
This guy over here.
Yeah, who's Milton? That was funny.
Yeah.
What else was it? How'd you like Starro as the villain?
The starfishes? I don't know. I mean, that was towards the tail end of the movie, and I was just like, this big fucking starfish, and then like Harley Quinn like jumps in.
I thought the way they killed it was like interesting. Like it was just like I was like, well, that's, because Ratcatcher I think was the unsung hero of the movie,
the plague of rats that they unleashed.
Yeah, that they unleashed. Yeah. I think she was like literally the.
That was Harley that jumped in there, right?
Yeah, Harley jumped in, but yeah, she was controlling the Ratcatcher. 2 was controlling the rats, and then I think she was like the character that the most likable because she kind of just like.
Well, she had a lovable backstory, right? Exactly. With her father.
Yeah, her father. I told you, her father was Taika Waititi.
Yeah.
It was pretty funny.
Yeah, they were sitting on top of that the tower at the end.
Yeah. I think she was great. I thought she was pretty cool. I was really expecting her to die. At the end, I thought Peacemaker was going to shoot her in the face.
The one thing I liked about the starfish was that they had an interesting backstory, like outer space alien. And like
that's what I liked it a lot because I was like, last week I was kind of watching like videos on the backstory of the characters and Starro, and so Starro was the first villain that the Justice League of America ever faced.
Oh, really?
So that was like that Starro the Conqueror was the first villain that brought the Justice League together. Like without Starro, the Justice League isn't a thing really, I guess. So, which is why I was kind of like the way they beat him, I thought was a little bit odd because Starro has been like the.
How did the Justice League of America beat him?
Well, it was like I didn't see the whole. Like listen to the whole thing and stuff because it was just like a quick YouTube video with backstory. But they said that the Justice League had a really hard time with Starro, and that he controlled even Superman and like Green Lantern and all like the big characters. So I thought that was pretty cool that they brought it back to the first Justice League.
Did you notice in the beginning when they were introducing Bloodsport and Waller or someone said like he was in prison because he shot Superman with a bullet?
Yeah, the kryptonite bullet. I like that.
So
I like
Superman
that.
exists in this,
which is good because we haven't had that certainty or like that. We haven't had that information since really Shazam 2. Mm. We haven't.
Yeah, they keep everything separate. Superman. I don't know what it is. They don't like cross.
Yeah,
crossbreeding the characters in the universe here.
Yeah, and like because Shazam is the last appearance of Superman in the continuity because Zack Snyder's Justice League, Superman. Zack Snyder's Justice League takes place before Shazam and this and all that, so it's not like it just happened.
Right.
So I like that they kind of called back to Superman and like he still exists in the universe. Like he's not gone. We're not just shutting him out. So I thought that was
Do you think we're? I don't think there's a chance we may not see another Suicide Squad movie. I think they may go the route of like Disney Plus with these characters, with Peacemaker's getting his own show now too. They might.
I don't know. I think. I mean, I'm always the fan of. Doing your series and kind of give the backstory to the characters, and then at the end of maybe like say season one, you get a season of Peacemaker, you get a season of Bloodsport, then maybe another character.
Season of Harley Quinn.
Yeah, season of Harley Quinn, season of something else
Flag.
like Ratcatcher. Well, Flag's dead, so you can't really give him a season.
Could do a backstory about him.
Yeah, you can do a backstory, but then at the end of those seasons, you get like a Suicide Squad 3, so that way you don't need to waste your time. You don't need to waste your time doing backstories, doing where have they been or whatever. You just kind of see it all leads to this.
Yeah,
and then
be interesting. It's
just better off that way because you get more content, more of the characters.
I definitely want to see something with Flag and Waller together. I think that would be cool.
That would be cool, but who knows? I doubt it at this point.
Why not?
I mean, do you think they'd really do a prequel?
Why not? What does everybody know about Waller, Amanda Waller, and you have Rick Flag in there as like the action piece of it?
I mean, I would love it. I just think
she's like running Black Ops programs.
Is it like realistic for them?
It might be.
Maybe. Oh, and I wanted to bring up Mongal at the beginning when she like kind of lit on fire and burned. She's, I think at least, she's the daughter of Mongol, and Mongol is like kind of equivalent to Darkseid, I believe, because Superman. There's like a thing where Superman says like he would kill two people. And it's Darkseid and Mongol, because they're both kind of like those like really big threats. So I was expecting at least Mongal to make it through that opening scene, because she's an alien. She's like you saw, she jumped on a helicopter and was like pulling it down. I thought she was going to be a lot more durable than just being lit on fire.
I mean, they had a lot of those surprises, like we said with Boomerang and all these other major characters that lasted
10 seconds,
15 minutes.
Yeah.
Well, that's the point of this movie, right? And the big popular characters get killed off, and we're left with like 3 or 4.
Yeah.
The major ones.
Yeah, no, it was. I mean, a lot of the characters, like we said, we knew were gonna die, obviously, because we never saw them in the trailer. Like Polka Dot Man, you could expect, like, he did die, but I think I expected him to survive longer than the Detachable Man.
I want to see a Polka Dot backstory show now.
Yeah, that'd be cool with his with his brothers and sisters and everything that happened to him.
Well, when he woke up and his face was all like puffed up, I was like, "What the hell is going on here?"
Yeah.
Like, see,
they made it seem interesting because we're like, Polka Dot Man. What does this guy do? And literally Cena says it. What does this guy do? Just shoot polka dots at people? And he's like,
"Yep,
yeah, he does that."
That's it.
It's like, okay, well, this is gonna be stupid, but then you're like, it's like a, what do you say, interdimensional infection or disease is what he explained it as. So it's like, oh, that's a lot more interesting than he just shoots polka dots at people.
Yeah.
So they did it like, I guess you could say they did it justice. They made it seem a lot more interesting than what it could have been.
Yeah. I mean, I think they did that with a lot of like the friggin' the coyote or whatever.
Oh, the weasel.
The weasel.
That was hilarious.
Yeah,
I forgot about the weasel.
Yeah.
The before and the beginning and the end of the weasel.
He's got to be a part of whatever they do again. He's still alive.
He's still alive. I mean, they could chuck him in the Peacemaker show.
Yeah,
Why not? Because James Gunn is directing the Peacemaker show, and I'm pretty sure that was his brother.
Yeah.
That plays, that runs around as the weasel.
Post-title credit scene, the guy lives, or girl, or whatever. I don't know. Classify that thing.
The weasel.
Yeah, the weasel. Very funny character.
Yeah, no, it was a really funny character.
Yeah. I mean, the other thing is, like, the last one came out in 2016, and you know how sometimes, like, the studios will lay off movies for, like, 5 or 6 years?
Yeah.
And it doesn't feel like it's, like, well-timed, you know what I mean? I didn't feel that at all. I felt like you could watch Suicide Squad if you want to watch a crap movie.
Yeah.
And then watch the Suicide Squad afterwards, and you feel like, oh, not too much time has passed.
Yeah.
They did a very good job of kind of keeping it like in the same sort of like time space, you know.
Yeah, and you saw like that, like Boomerang and Harley Quinn had a relationship before. You could tell that they were like, oh hey.
Well, everybody kind of knew each other.
Exactly,
you know?
They knew each other. They're like, oh, you're back here. How are you back here? How are you back in jail?
Yeah, exactly.
Like they had that like banter, and it was just like
it was a very, very good rebound.
Yeah,
a very, very good rebound.
And it's crazy because it is technically a reboot still. Like even though like you have those like callbacks to the first movie, it's technically a reboot. But since it is also technically the second movie in the Suicide Squad, it did like so much better, and you really never see that with with sequels. Like the first one's usually always like what you compare it to, but now this one is like the better one.
The first one's a flaming turd.
Yeah, it's not hard to do better.
Well, you got James Gunn directing it too, so you got to assume that the guy knows what he's doing. He's not going to deliver a piece of crap.
Well, that's what I'm saying. It's kind of upsetting now. Well, not upsetting, but it's like unfortunate for David Ayer because you're getting. I think the release of the Ayer cut would have been a lot more successful.
Well, now I want to see the Ayer cut because
but
I'd like to see what the guy.
I think the it would have been a lot more successful for the Ayer cut to be released if this one didn't do as well. If that makes sense.
I don't know. I kind of feel like there should be some kind of uproar now with the fans after seeing this one. Oh, hey, we got this good. We know they can make a good movie. Let's see what the guy originally made. Is it going to happen?
Well, it doesn't make sense why they won't. Like, it's just free money. You're going to have to dump some money into it. Obviously, we saw that with Snyder, but it's free money. Like, they made so much money on Justice League. And
the merchandise and everything.
They had 80% of the movie filmed. Yeah. Like obviously they put a lot of money into that, but they still probably made a profit, which they weren't gonna before if they just kept it, and just sat on it.
The stars of the original cast come out and said they want to see it. Probably think so.
Harley Quinn said she's like she's like I hadn't seen it. She's like I don't see a lot of the stuff that I'm in until the world sees it, and she said that it's something that she's in and she'd love to see it. So
I mean, if you get Will Smith on the bandwagon too, I'm sure you can make it happen. Just like with you had Momoa, Cavill, and everybody else was sort of petitioning for the Snyder cut. Maybe that will happen for this one too. Yeah, release on HBO Max.
We've been getting some good DCEU movies recently, so hopefully they'll continue to do that and they'll continue to keep that going. So
keep the train moving. So all right. So I said 7. I give it a 7.6.
Yeah, Suicide Squad.
7.6.
I gave it an 8.4, and this turned into from like we talked about the movie. We went on our movie review. We said that we both liked it a lot, but then it's kind of valid because it's where the it's where the DCU is going and where we hope it goes and where I'm sure a lot of people hope it goes, being like fans of all this stuff. So. Is that all? I think that's all for this week.
That's all for this week, yeah.
Make sure you guys check us out. We got the clips on YouTube.
Twitter, Instagram.
We got the full podcast goes up on Spotify. Every Wednesday. Same for YouTube and everything. So
on YouTube.
Check us out, and we will be back next week for another episode. We'll see you guys then.